Alright boys, welcome back. This is Reggie vs. Solace coming to you with a quick video. So we did it last night. We was able to make some history, at least for my short time playing Enhanced Shaman. We were able to get #1 overall on a boss fight. And this one was in Blackwing Lair. And let's go over some of the metrics. Let's go over some of the analytics on how we were able to get that. I was super stoked. As you can see here, Enhanced Shaman was #1 over a few rogues and a few warriors, which was great. You know, the warriors, the rogues, they were pumping. UAVs are pumper with the locks, pressing C or Q. So let's get that in there real quick, man. So let's take a look at details. We're gonna go over that details. First thing you see here, this was during the boss fight Chromagus. I unbooned and popped the buffs, like I said before in the previous video, that Enhanced Shamans can do really good damage, especially, but we need the world buffs to do it. As we're benefiting off the intellect buff, and of course all of the melee buffs that you get, the attack power buffs that you get with world buffs. Attack speed's increased, you get more attack power, you get more crit, a lot more crit, which goes hand in hand with the Enhanced Shaman's DPS. Most of our damage is melee, as you can see. 81.1% of that damage was done just off my melee attacks. Of course, I'm using Hand of Rag. This is the first week I'm doing it at 9% hit, which is great. So we're good, and of course I got it last week. So Storm Strike was 9.3. I was able to mix in Storm Strike on cooldown for the majority of the fight. Magma Totem, you're putting that down, of course, it works well, especially during a fire phase for Chromagus. And then of course the Fireball, I was surprised that the Fireball from the Hand of Rag did 2.3% of my damage. That's awesome. That's something that's passive. It's right there if you're using the weapon. So just keep that in mind for future Enhanced Shaman gearing on Classic Era servers. Flame Shock 2.2. I try to keep that debuff up. Glad I was able to do that. I can improve on this. I also was able to parse a 93. And we can get that higher because it was scuffed where mages kept pulling aggro and we kind of had to reset the boss. So I didn't have 100% uptime on all of my attacks. So that 93 parse can be to probably 95, 96 if we get how it was 2 weeks ago where mages and warlocks didn't pull aggro. So yeah, so this was good. So we look at comparison. We crushed all the warriors, all of the rogues, able to get them down. Pretty good stuff as far as at least the melee is concerned. And the auras, like I said, we had everything popped. So that is, you know, something to consider, that the majority of people, you can choose to unboon if you want during our runs. Some people keep their buffs bottled up. I, of course, during this fight, I know that most of the time the tanks are going to maintain their aggro lead, and I can kind of go off. I was watching as I was #2 on threat the entire fight, because of course I started the fight unbooned. So you had World Chief's Blessing. I had everything, all of it, including Dark Moon Fair, as this is Dark Moon Fair week. So you see here that 10% was rolling. Yeah, but we had everything. We popped everything, and it was worth it. Strike. I even had the Strike of the Scorpion popped for extra agility. Everything was popped. You know, we used it all, and it was great to be able to get it. Like I said, 81.1. So that means my hits was faster due to the haste off of War Chief's Blessing, which was great. Yeah, we were able to get top DPS. So Enhanced Shamans can do it. You can see here, I mean, there was a little bit of separation, I would say that. Of course, these classes scale higher with world buffs, so if they had the world buffs, they would be probably in a 150 to 200 range of damage. But we did good. So well, just a quick update video on that. Enhanced Shaman was able to get #1 DPS during the boss fight. Yeah, and it was definitely worth it. This is the gear once again. You got the Hand of Rag. You got your Black Eyes Restore. We were able to do it with Badger Swarm Guard. Also, if you guys saw, I was able to use it twice, which was great. So Badger Swarm Guard, we actually was able to use it twice. Once at the beginning of the fight, once at the end of the fight. It was up. The uptime was 23%, which is pretty good. Now, inside of Kawaji, that is the actual attack power debuff that you get. I mean, not attack power, but the armor reducing or armor reduction. So you see there that it was actually procced the maximum duration, which was it refreshed itself 10 times. So that was really good to be able to have that. Yeah, so I combined that with Earth Strike. Let's see, let's look at Earth Strike. Yep, Earth Strike, we was able to do that twice. As of course, that is a cooldown, and you can pop it every 2 minutes. So I know Chromagus is a sort of long fight in WoW Classic comparison. So you were able to pop off both of the trinkets, which was really good. So both of these were able to use multiple times during the fight, and that's another reason why I was able to just unboon and use the world buffs, because I know I'm getting my bang for the buck. That 93, like I said, once again, that can go higher if the range classes don't pull aggro, and it's just stationary in place, which normally it is. So yeah, so this was good. So we were able to do it. You know, top DPS, Chromagus. You know, I'm super happy about that, and we'll try to improve on that next week when we do it again. All right, so this is the video. This is the gear. You know, some good bits pieces, but we finally using the Hand of Rag in the fight, and of course now we're at 9% hit. So, and that does make a big difference, increasing your melee damage, which is the majority of our damage right there. Attack power was 768. Of course, we use Wind Fury weapon for the extra attacks. Yeah, and 637, a little +4. I was trying to get the Dragon Slayers, Master Dragon Slayers ring, but a little too high out of my price range. But we did get a good amount, you know, about 1K gold from the GDKP. Yeah, and we're good to go. So let me know what you guys think of the video. Enhanced Shaman, #1 DPS, doing a Chromag fight, Blackwing Lair. We'll try to keep improving on it. Reggie versus Solace, signing out. Till next time.